Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. Here's a little tutorial on my first bling jersey. So as you can see, I'm adding the rhinestones to my template. The original process was supposed to be one color, but during my live on Instagram, the people decided I should do an offset, but I had already cut out my template. So here I'm removing all the rhinestones in the middle after I filled it in to leave the outside color. It was a tedious process, so that's why it's on a time lapse, because as you can see, it took it a minute. Here's an easy way to put your rhinestones back in the jar by using a funnel. Next, I need to cut my heat transfer tape to place on my rhinestone template. After cutting the heat transfer tape, I size it over the template. You have to commit here. Gotta go all in, there's no hesitation in order for all those rhinestones to stick evenly. So I pull it up and place it to the side. Next, we fill in the second color of rhinestones and repeat the process. Here we're doing the opposite. I'm filling in the crystal rhinestones in the center, replacing any missing rhinestones in the gaps, and then removing the outline from the offset. Now before I merged the two rhinestone templates together, I noticed that I had extra rhinestones on the offset template, so I had to remove them. I've added the heat transfer tape and I'm smoothing out the rhinestones to make sure that they adhere to the heat transfer tape. And then when I pull up, I notice some rhinestones left behind, so I bring back the heat transfer tape and press where the missing rhinestone is at to lift it up. Here's the finished template. Look at that sparkle. That looks so badass. I'm setting my heat press to 325 for 15 seconds. I use a lint brush to remove any lint before I press my template. For added protection, I use a Teflon sheet before I press. I also added parchment paper inside the jersey so the rhinestones wouldn't stick to the heat pad that I have there. And as you can see, the heat press didn't go all the way over to the end where it says Bulldogs, so I have to slide it over and press again. I usually wait a few seconds for it to cool before I remove the heat transfer tape. And be sure to save it because you can get a couple of uses out of it as well on the heat transfer tape. Now this part is a little bit tricky since the transfer template is a little bit heavier. So once I remove it, I do see a couple of rhinestones shifting. So I turn it over to try to measure it up, but it's very obvious where the rhinestones had shifted. So I flip it back over. I'm pointing to where it's at. See? So I reach for my tweezers and make the adjustments that I need to pull that rhinestone off and place it back in its place. As you can see, it took quite a few different tools to finally get it right, but I get it right. The craftstration starts setting in here. Again, I place the Teflon sheet before I press at 325 for 15 seconds. Now as I start the back and I pull up the heat transfer tape, I notice a rhinestone left behind, so I have to repress it. The same thing happens here, so I have to repress it again. So it keeps happening. These rhinestones keep lifting up because not enough heat is giving it time for the glue behind the rhinestones to adhere to the fabric. So I'm going to just talk all my way through this because everything was going smoothly except for this part. Everything looked great, removed the transfer tape, everything seemed to go smooth. But after you press your rhinestones to any type of fabric, you got to rub your hand over it. And as you can see, while I was doing that, a lot of the rhinestones were coming off. So I'm like, what happened here? Where did I go wrong? The more I smoothed it over, the more these rhinestones were popping off. So I feel two things went wrong. First off, after you press your rhinestones, it is a good idea to flip your shirt inside out and press them again from the inside for like 7 to 9 seconds. I didn't do that. The other thing that I feel like I did wrong is whenever we decided to change the design and do an offset, I did not have SS10 crystal rhinestones. The orange rhinestones are SS10. So the crystal rhinestones that I had were SS16, so they're much bigger than the orange. So when I placed it on the same template, when you put that heat press on there, it's gonna reach the SS16 rhinestones first and not really get to the orange SS10s. So I feel that was another mistake that I did. I didn't use the right rhinestones. I didn't put the offset template and the center template on different heat transfer tapes. So I put it all on one. On the front side was perfect. Nothing happened. They all adhered perfectly. So I don't know what happened to this back part. So I wanted to share this. It's LoCo Blingz. It can't be a LoCo Blingz project without a fuck up. But I had to share the before and after. And I hope this is somewhat helpful to you all and you don't make the same mistakes I did.